An annual affair. The Washington Huskies and two-time All-American Alex Kleinman Stanford Cardinal are battling for yet another conference championship as the Cardinal at 15-6 and 8-3 in the conference take on the Huskies 19-2 overall and currently atop the Pac-10 conference at 9-2. And speaking of atop, Penn State still perfect, ranked #1 as they have been all season long, the two-time defending NCAA champions, followed by Texas and Hawaii. Washington, Stanford, and UCLA, winners of 5 in a row in the Pac-10 conference, has moved up to #7. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Seattle. I'm Paul Sunderland, joined by Hall of Famer Holly McPeak. And Holly, going to be a great night here in Seattle. Stanford and Washington playing for yet another Pac-10 championship. But if that wasn't enough, the stakes may be even higher come the NCAA playoffs.
This has become a great Pac-10 rivalry, but if these two teams remain 4 and 5 in the country, they could play in the regional final to get a Final Four berth.
So a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence as the Pac-10 season winds down. A critical matchup for both of these teams. And offense always gets all of the headlines, but for these two teams, they've got a couple of great defenders. And we start at the defensive end with Tama Miyashiro for Washington, the two-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Tama Miyashiro, one of the best liberos in the country. Like you said, two-time National Defensive Player of the Year. She's second in digs right now in the Pac-10, but she does so much for this team. Coach Jim McLaughlin can't say enough good things about her.
It's going to be a real battle tonight at the defensive end, and we're going to keep track of it throughout the course of the evening. And Miyashiro's counterpart for Stanford is Gabby Ailes, who's matched her dig for dig all season long.
Gabby Ailes, the libero for Stanford, is playing the best volleyball of her career. John Dunning says she's getting better every match. Right now, leading the Pac-10 in digs per set.
Good crowd on hand as we set the starting lineup. First for the Stanford Cardinal, Alex Kleinman, Cassidy Lickman, key left side attackers, Akoba Walker in the middle, Stephanie Brown, the right side hitting specialist. Freshman setter Carissa Cook has really solidified and calmed things down for Stanford. Gabby Ailes, the aforementioned outstanding defensive specialist. And head coach for the Stanford Cardinal in his 25th season overall, 9th at Stanford, has won 4 NCAA titles at Stanford in 2001 and 2004. Now the starting lineup for the Washington Huskies, who had their 15-match winning streak ended in the first matchup between these two teams back in October. Salvo and Collimore on the outside, Rowland and Dunaway, Kelsey Dunaway into the starting lineup, the redshirt freshman. Kendra Carlson the opposite, Jenna Hagelin, the All-American setter. And there is Tama Miyashiro, her outstanding All-American career winding down here in Seattle. Head coach Jim McLaughlin in his 9th season as well, a 2005 NCAA champion, won the Pac-10 titles in 2004, 2005, and then Stanford won them in 2006, 2007, and 2008, as I said, becoming an annual affair. Ariel Salvo will serve. The series history, Stanford has dominated. They lead the all-time series 45-9, and they have won the last 4 meetings in a row. Again, the first meeting back on October 10th, won by the Stanford Cardinal, 15-12 in the 5th set. Washington in their home white jerseys with gold trim. This is Ariel Salvo, senior outside hitter, to start things off. Stanford in their road black uniforms. And Stephanie Brown wearing number 12 in black, the right side hitting specialist, wearing the goggles, registers the first kill of this best 3 out of 5 set match.
Every time we talk to the coaches, it's a serve and pass game. Stanford starts the match with a fantastic pass.
Hannah Benjamin on to play defense. She will come in each and every time that substitutions allow for the Stanford Cardinal for Brown. Alex Kleinman showing you her all-around play, 6'4" outside hitter, but still playing some superb defense. And Cassidy Lickman off the left side wearing number 8 in black registers her first kill.
Cassidy Lickman's been getting extra reps at practice, really focusing on getting her offense back and getting a good approach every time.
Hitting well over 300 at start of Pac-10 season, now down to 257. So has had some weeks, as you might imagine, a very difficult conference when she has struggled. Carlson over the top of the block and out of bounds. A hitting error for the Washington Huskies. And that was the big story, Holly, in the first meeting, again, won by the Stanford Cardinal. Washington, a season-high 28 hitting errors and a season-high 17 service errors. Benjamin again for Stanford. Off the top of the tape and down for the ace. Stanford out quickly, leading 4-0. Again, best 3 out of 5. First 4 sets to 25 points. 5th set tiebreaker, if necessary, will be played to 15. Must win by 2. That time into the top of the tape. And Washington is on the scoreboard, and it will be All-American Tama Miyashiro back to serve. Something I'm still trying to figure out. Tamare Miyashiro, originally from Hawaii, there she is, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Was not a first-team All-American either of those seasons. I don't get it. Got to do something about that system.
I agree.
And Cassidy Lickman off the top of the Washington block and down. Nice high flat shot. Tool in the block. When I say high flat, what is the outside attacker trying to accomplish there?
She's trying to hit it high and flat off the hands of the blocker so they can't control it. It goes deep. Tama Miyashiro, the libero for Washington, cannot dig it.
Hagelin to the outside, and a rip once again, this time by number 22 in white. Jill Collymore averaging just over 3 kills per contest.
Watch this nice quick swing through the seam of the block. That's between the 2 blockers' hands.
Collymore has a rapid-fire arm swing. You really have to seal things up. Kendra Carlson with a jump serve. And a tough chance there, forcing a rare bad pass from Gabby Ailes.
Gabby Ailes for Stanford has been passing the ball extremely well. That time just getting a little trouble passing it too tight.
Kendra Carlson, who's taking over at the starting opposite position, playing outstanding volleyball in her junior season, almost 4 kills per game, hitting .288. Okoba. Janet Okoba had 21 kills, a career night back on October 10th at Stanford in their 3-2 victory over Washington.
Last time these 2 teams met, Washington did not have an answer for Janet Okoba from Stanford.
And those 21 kills, talk about it being a career high. Previous to that, her career high was only 12, so just a huge night. Collymore smartly into the block and down off the inside hand. That time of Jessica Walker, 6'1" redshirt freshman wearing number 7 for Stanford out of Houston, Texas. And a very dangerous server. This is really key for Washington, as it is for Stanford. Collymore, a very, very good jump server, and showing you exactly that. An ace against Stanford's Benjamin.
That's what we did not see from her last time. She had some service errors. Stanford passed the ball really well. When Washington can serve tough, they can put a ton of pressure on their opponents.
Washington now on a 5-2 run. Remember, they trailed 4-0 to start this match. Touch on the blockers rule. Washington thought there was no contact. Salvo tapping down inside the block. Ariel Salvo, number 11 in white out of Farmington, Utah, the transfer from the University of Utah.
Coach Jim McLaughlin talked about this after a dig. Ariel Salvo has been really working hard on transition swinging, comes up with a big kill for the Huskies.
Tied now at 6. First time these 2 teams have been level since the start of the match. Another big serve by Collymore and another ace. That'll go down as a service winner, but in my book, that's a clean ace.
Watch Jill Collymore. Nice snap, good velocity on the ball. Cassidy Lickman, one of the best passers in the country, could not handle that.
Collymore again, and that one into the top of the tape. Mentioned the 27 service errors by the Washington Huskies. Okay, look, the match went 5 sets. The numbers are going to be big, both season highs in service errors and in hitting errors. When we talked to Jim McLaughlin, okay, what can you miss? He said, we can miss 10%. 10% is our number, so we got to keep an eye on that. Kendra Carlson effectively off the top of the block and down. Carlson out of Eaton, Colorado, the 6'1" junior wearing number 5 in white. Big weekend against the Arizonas. 42 combined kills and a couple of back-to-back wins for the Huskies last week over Arizona and Arizona State.
Kendra Carlson, a great athlete, is playing really well. Actually played really well last year and had a funny injury, little muscle between her ribs that kept her out towards the end of the season.
Tight set, Brown over the top, Collymore, number 22, with a great dig for Washington. step out. The connection not there. A hitting error that time. Really a hitting error, not just great combination or connection between Carissa Cook and Jessica Walker.
Jessica Walker just cannot reach that ball and is unable to keep that tip in bounds. It's really important that Carissa Cook for Stanford, the setter, keeps going to Jessica Walker. Give her confidence.
That ball served out of bounds, so point and possession will go to the Stanford Cardinal. And Alex Kleinman, the two-time All-American out of Miracosta High School in Hermosa Beach, will go back to serve. Played all last season with a very, very severely injured shoulder. Serious surgery, major surgery in the offseason. It's been a big story so far. Dig by Ailes, dug back by Washington. Carlson with a kill out of the right back.
Fantastic dig by Stanford's number 9, Gabby Ailes, but Washington able to get another chance and kill in transition.
Jenna Haglund, who led the Pac-10 conference and assists last year, back to serve. Connection still not there. That ball set too tight and an unforced error. Cassidy Lickman, number 8 for Stanford, tipping that ball out of bounds on a poor set from Gabby Ailes.
Great dig by Washington, and watch this nice transition back row attack to Kendra Carlson. Big transition kill.
Washington currently over number 5 Stanford. The opening set got down 4-0, and Washington on an 11-4 run now, and they're doing it with serving from Collmore, serving from Carlson. Jenna Haglund now back to serve, so we're in number 14 for Washington. And Kleinman, another hitting error, so an error-filled first set for the Stanford Cardinal. Some ball control errors, some reception problems, and now back-to-back balls hit outside the court.
On a perfect pass, I don't know if Kleinman on the pipe set is your best choice. That's her toughest set to come back from shoulder surgery and hit.
Brown over the top, so no touch detected. 3 straight balls hit out of bounds. If you're wondering about the pipe, that's the set to the middle back player or out of the back row, right down the pipe or out of the middle back. And they're serving Alex Kleinman, moving her over to the right sideline to take her out of that favored spot. Ace serve again, this in front of Ailes. Stanford in some real trouble here after what was a very solid start, and it's been coming from the service line for the Huskies, Holly.
Washington's put a lot of emphasis, especially this week, on location serving, aggressive serving. This is basically the seam between Gabby Ailes and Alex Kleinman.
Well, if you're the Stanford Cardinal, very surprised to have so much seeming confusion in your serve-receive pattern. The 2 outside attackers, Kleinman and Lickman, are the key receivers, along with that woman right there, number 9 in white, Gabby Ailes, one of the best defensive players and receivers in the country, and she just got aced.
Last time these two teams met, Washington dominated the first set as well. Stanford looked a little bit lost, but came back to win the match.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's show you the updated Pac-10 standings. We've talked about Washington and Stanford. Look at UCLA. Andy Banikowski doing a magnificent job with a very, very young Bruin team. Not only have they won 5 in a row, but they beat Stanford and Cal on the road last week. Oregon, Arizona, Washington State. USC, a big match against UCLA this weekend to try to get back into the mix.
You're right. UCLA had a huge win against Stanford last week. They are definitely the hottest team in the Pac-10 right now.
There is Jim McLaughlin, as we mentioned, in his 9th season, the only coach to win a men's and women's national championship. When he was at USC, won a men's NCAA title there. Serving Kleinman again, and Lickman on the combination play off the top of the block and down, but it is still the Huskies leading comfortably in this opening set, 14-9.
That was the nice high swing off the block by Lickman. Good decision on that.
Carlson sprays that one just wide. Pretty good bump set that time by Kelly Holford out of Long Beach, California, in as a defensive specialist. Jessica Walker, middle blocker for Stanford, back to serve. And Rick Olmstead, the head referee, waiting for a little more clearance for Walker. And so we'll do it all over again. There is veteran referee Rick Olmstead. And there is Walker once again, still playing with a heavily taped thumb. More on that in a moment. Should be an easy chance for Stanford. Brown on the step out, and that easy chance just did not develop. Seemingly some combination or connection problems right now between the setter Carissa Cook and Cassidy Lickman and her hitters.
Yeah, her and Stephanie Brown specifically on that play, just not connecting. The ball needs to stay in front of Stephanie Brown for her to get a better swing on that ball.
It should have been an easy point scoring opportunity. Dig by Hagelin. That ball is just dug too tight. Another error and a rare mistake by Gabby Ailes.
Gabby Ailes in good position to dig it, just pushed it a little tight. You see it's a little tight. She cannot get there. Kelsey Dunaway for Washington throws it down.
Redshirt freshman out of Bainbridge Island, Washington. That is Dunaway, wearing number 2 in white. Swing out of the middle, not there. And Lickman again high off the top of the block and down. Okay, so Cassidy Lickman has shown 3, if not 4 times, every kill off the top of the block. How does Washington adjust?
Well, they need to wait and press over, and I would shift the libero or the middle back defender deeper so she can run those balls down.
Defensive specialist Hannah Benjamin on, wearing number 4 out of San Diego. Right side Carlson down the line. That's what we expect from Gabby Ailes. A brilliant dig. Both teams playing superb defense. Miyashiro to Collimore, and through the block that time of Janet Okoba for Stanford.
The key there, the dig to transition kill for Washington. Nice control dig by Jenna Hagelin. Tama Miyashiro, the libero for Washington, steps in and sets the ball. Jill Collimore with the kill.
That was a perfect example of the value of Tama Miyashiro back to serve now, the libero for Washington, and Gabby Ailes for Stanford. Both of them touching the ball 3-4 times during the course of that point. Okoba off of the block and down. Janet Okoba out of Tampa, Florida, the 6'3" senior, averaging just under 3 kills per game and 3rd best efficiency in the conference at .379. And that's not a batting average. Hitting efficiency in volleyball is kills minus errors divided by total attempts. That gives you the efficiency. There you see our ticker along the bottom of the screen. If you want to know more about number 22 for Washington, Jill Collimore, you can catch up on it right there. We'll do the same for Stanford momentarily. And pretty good timing. Collimore not only on the bottom of our screen, but at the top of her game right here.
Watch Jill Collimore. She hits this ball high off the hands of Haley Spellman, who at 6'4", gives some big hands to tool off.
Carlson for Washington, and misses that ball into the top of the tape. Comfortable lead, however, still for the Washington Huskies. If you're just joining us, the Huskies currently alone atop the Pac-10 standings at 19-2, 9-2 in conference. Stanford tied with UCLA for second at 8-3. Ailes now for Stanford. Cardinal trailing 18-13. Left side. Kleinman, not a lot of heat so far tonight. Just wristing the ball. What a dig by Gabby Ailes. In the white jersey, the libero, Kendra Carlson with a pancake. And the umpire saying the ball hit the antenna. And there's going to be a conversation. One magnificent dig after another.
Jill Collimore just unloads. Look at this one-arm stab by Gabby Ailes, the libero for Stanford.
Off the dig from Carlson, ruled that the set attempt by Washington had touched the antenna, but the Huskies come right back, a kill out of the pipe again, out of the middle back position for number 5, Kendra Carlson.
Nice in-system play by Washington. That means it's a perfect pass. They can run all their options. They run the back row attack.
Collimore again, already with a couple of aces. And tipped to the floor that time by Kleinman. Do you agree with me, Holly? So far, at least, Alex Kleinman, who has carried such a huge load this year for Stanford. Early part of the Pac-10 season, she was averaging something like 68 swings per match. Not a lot of heat right now, and she's had those shoulders. I'm not going to speculate on it, but so far has really not put the wood to the ball yet.
She said she's playing with pain. You know, and that's part of the recovery process. She expects that. But after a lot of swings, especially after last weekend, her arm is tired. So it's hard to get the pace and the speed on her shoulder. She's definitely having to place the ball more.
First kill on the night for number 15 in white, Bianca Rowland, the Pac-10's most efficient attacker at 451. Holford on to serve once again for the Huskies. Opening set, best 3 out of 5. Kleinman mistimes, but somehow rolls that ball through the block into the floor.
Because Alex Kleinman doesn't have the heat that she normally does, she's hitting the ball deep, and the defense is playing deep, and that's why these shots that are kind of, that's a miss hit, but it sneaks short, and she's getting a kill on that.
Quick set out of the middle, nicely done by Kelsey Dunaway, but give Kelly Holford out of Los Alamitos High School in Long Beach credit for the perfect pass.
Look at this nice quick set by Kelsey Dunaway, just right in front of Stanford's libero Gabby Ailes.
We'll give you their digging totals, Miyashiro and Ailes at the end of each set. Time putting the hammer down off of the block out of the pipe zone and give Alex Kleinman the kill.
Nice dig here by Gabby Ailes. In transition, Carissa Cook runs the pipe. The back row attack in the middle by Alex Kleinman for the kill.
Shank pass by Holford. Stanford has got to convert here on this free ball situation, trailing 21-17. And Okoba is stuffed out of the middle by Dunaway.
Kelsey Dunaway for Washington, number 2, has worked so hard to get in this starting lineup. Watch her right here. Perfect position, nice hands sealing the net. Stops Janet Okoba. Last time these two teams matched, we did not see a lot of that from Washington.
Combination play again, and that ball put to the floor by Cassidy Lickman. Very impressive block by Kelsey Dunaway. Again, the 6'2" redshirt freshman. There's Cassidy Lickman. She is so important to everything Stanford does. She sets a couple of rotations. She hits left side. She receives balls. Clearly one of the best all-around players in the country. Dunaway out of the middle, missing combination, and hits that long.
She was a little under that ball, tried to hit it deep, just missed it just long.
Jenna Haglund, her setter, saying, hey, come hard again. I'll go right back to you. Carlson off the right side. Must score chance for Stanford, and off the block and down for Lickman, and Stanford right back in it. After that ball was stuffed by Kelsey Dunaway on the chance from Okoba, I thought this set was over, but Stanford will not go quietly. Playing probably for the Pac-10. State Farm is a proud sponsor of the Pac-10 Conference, and on behalf of its over 800 agents, including your local Washington agent, State Farm would like to wish both teams best of luck in tonight's match. Please go to statefarm.com to talk with a State Farm agent in your area. Paul Sunderland back with Hall of Famer Holly McPeak. I mentioned that right before the match started, and you know, this first set is winding down, but congratulations again from so many of your fans being inducted into the Volleyball Hall of Fame. That ceremony last week in Holyoke, Massachusetts. So joining a distinguished group, and much deserved. That ball served out of bounds. Critical service error there. You've got to know, coming out of that timeout, you just cannot miss that. It's just got to concentrate a little more, come out of it. I know Benjamin's only a freshman, but now, I mean, you've gotten some momentum back, and look at John Dunning, been at it 25 years and going, didn't I tell you? Don't serve that ball out of bounds. Miyashiro now for Washington, leading by 3. make it a 4-point lead. And set points for the Huskies. Crowd coming to its feet here at the Bank of America Arena. A very good crowd on hand for this Pac-10 volleyball match of the week. Number 5 Stanford visiting number 4 Washington. Salvo with a one-handed stab, and a careless play that time by the University of Washington. Hagelin and Carlson looking at one another, and then nobody going. Another set point for Washington. Collimore one-on-one. Beautiful selection by Hagelin. And the opening set will go to the Washington Huskies, 25-21.
Stanford started to gain momentum at the end of that first set. Let's see if they can continue that on into the second set.
Stanford led early 4-0, but then Washington not only bounced back, they took complete control thanks to a 14-4 run and cruised to take the opening set in this best 3 out of 5. Washington 25, Stanford 21. Bank of America Arena in Seattle, number 4 Washington taking the opening set over the Stanford Cardinal by a score of 25-21. And Stanford got out very quickly, led 4-0, but then the Washington Huskies served one ball after another. Jill Collimore had a couple of aces, and after one set point was saved, perfect choice that time by Jenna Hagelin, one-on-one on the outside to Collimore, and that would do it. Washington wins it 25-21. And as is often the case, you come to a volleyball match, you want to sit in the end zone if you want to get a bird's eye view, and that's where our Holly McPeak has taken up residence.
This is a fantastic place to watch the match. You can see the distribution of the sets and the offense so much better. This is where I like to sit.
You just like it because it's about as far away from me as you can possibly get.
That's true as well.
So just underway. Stanford again in black at 15-6, 8-3 in conference. Their fine freshman setter Carissa Cook will start things off. And block out of the middle to start things off by another freshman, Jessica Walker out of Houston, Texas. A look at the numbers from the opening set. Washington, which leads the conference in hitting, was certainly the stronger there, 303 to 191. And defensively, both teams fairly even. It was the 6 hitting errors by the Stanford Cardinal that really decided that opening set. Stanford had 13 kills, 6 errors on 36 attempts. Washington, 13 kills, but only 3 errors on 33 attempts. Kendra Carlson, the right side attacker, back to serve. Carlson out of the back line, dug by, oh, that ball's got to come up. A little confusion again. Alex Kleinman is backing out. Holly, you could see that play develop from your end zone. That's not Kleinman's ball, is it?
No, Alex Kleinman needs to get in position to hit that ball. Somebody other than her needs to step in and set that ball in transition for Stanford.
Carlson once again. It was Washington's service pressure just like this, which turned that opening set in the Huskies' favor. And on the overpass, immediately crushing that ball to the floor is middle blocker Bianca Rowland.
Washington's doing a good job getting Stanford in trouble passing.
And not only with the hard jump serves, Holly, but also serving spots. You know, we expect Kendra Carlson and Jill Collimore to really bring the heat. Another bad pass for Stanford. And that's going to be a back row attacker. Carissa Cook is back row, went above the net, put the ball over onto Washington's side, and now the Huskies out quickly on a 4-0 run.
Stanford needs to pull the ball off the net and give Carissa Cook an opportunity to set the ball.
You see Carissa Cook running to keep that ball alive. Only problem is she's in the backcourt, so illegal play. Good work by the officials. Easy play to call, actually. Kleinman turning that ball down the line. That little inside lob set, Holly, has been very effective for Kleinman and Stanford. Kleinman wearing number 10.
Alex Kleinman obviously coming back from shoulder surgery. It's all about placement this year. She doesn't have the speed or the power that she normally does.
Collimore off the top of the block. Stanford scrambling, and that's going to be one too many contacts. Before the match, Holly, you talked about two of the best defenders in the country. One right there in white. That's Gabby Ailes, the libero for Stanford in the off-colored jersey, and Tama Miyashiro, number 7, in the purple and gold for Washington. And in the opening set, Ailes had 8 digs and Miyashiro had 4. Crushed out of the back line, out of the pipe, Jill Collins. How did that look from the end zone, Holly, as that developed?
The tempo of the Washington offense right now is really nice. It's a nice low pipe set. Jill Collmore with the rocket arm comes through and makes a nice turn on that ball.
Rocket jump serve. Stanford having all kinds of problems. Salvo off the left side. What a dig by Ailes, but a net violation is going to put an end to that point. Net violation against the Stanford Cardinal. That was against Stephanie Brown, number 12 in black. There's the net violation. And a timeout is called. Boy, the hot play. Pac-10 volleyball match of the week. Washington up 1-0 and leading 7-2 here in the second. And in the end zone, there is my partner, Holly McPeak. And got a great spot to see everything as it develops in front of you. It's like watching a tennis match. A much better place to watch along the baseline.
Well, you can see Washington's in a great offensive rhythm, even in transition. Stanford struggling to find that rhythm so far.
Well, they can't as long as Collmore and her teammates keep serving the ball like this. They're just serving rockets. Left side ball set a little tight, and Ariel Salvo. Maybe not the best decision, is stuffed off to right side. Maybe that'll get the Stanford Cardinal going.
Jessica Walker and Haley Spellman with a big block. Jessica Walker, if she can't come up with some offensive plays, that's fine. Just come up with some blocks like she did there.
There is Walker, the redshirt freshman, serves that ball out of bounds. And so point possession on the unforced error. Walker will head to the sideline. Middle blockers go out, replaced by the libero, Gabby Ailes, as we talked about. Ailes now with 11 digs. Miyashiro fairly quiet so far with only 5, but not getting many opportunities. You know, Washington right now is serving Stanford out of the Bank of America Arena. Lickman, tight set. What a beautiful swing inside the block. Dig by Collmore, but just over the sideline and wide. Crowd did not like it. Thought that dig by number 22 in white, Jill Collmore, had caught the sideline. Well, they're seeing with their hearts. That ball was only out by about a foot. Well, they are playing at home. Lickman through the block. Miyashiro with a spectacular dig. Lickman inside again and crushes that ball past Holford and Tama Miyashiro.
Nice transition set by Carissa Cook. She got only one blocker, Jenna Haglin, in front of Cassidy Lickman, and Lickman has the advantage there.
Well, Holly, as a former setter at UCLA, winning a national championship there, when you're sitting in the end line where you are now, are you mostly watching what the setters do?
Well, you just see how the offense is spread out, where they're holding the blockers. It's a nice view, definitely, to see that kind of stuff.
Kendra Carlson off the right side, and that red-hot start for the Washington Huskies has stalled momentarily as the Stanford Cardinal on a little mini run of their own. Washington now leading 8-6, Stanford on a 3-0 run, and while we've got a timeout here in Seattle, it's time to honor our State Farm Pride of the Pack. All-American setter Jenna Haglin and her teammate Jill Collmore make the District 8 all-academic squads. That's a great performance, not only doing a wonderful job for the Washington Huskies currently at 19-2, number 4 in the country, but also obviously doing a fantastic job in the classroom. So congratulations to our State Farm Pride of the Pack, Jenna Hagelin and Jill Collymore. And we'll get a chance to visit with Jenna Hagelin in between sets 2 and 3. And Jim McLaughlin, and you were in the conversation obviously as well, Holly, puts in a very busy week because Jim McLaughlin and his setter Jenna Hagelin spend every Sunday morning together after the weekend's matches. And that's a videotape session that usually lasts for 4 hours. So just the time in practice. If you're the setter for any major college volleyball team and you got a coach like Jim McLaughlin, you better enjoy each other's company because you're going to spend a lot of time together. 4 hours every Sunday. I
spoke with Jenna about that. She says, you know, she spends a lot of hours watching video, but it's all about balance and priorities in her life, and she's gotten really good at that.
It's like a quarterback and an offensive coordinator on the football side of things. They better love each other. That ball off the top of the block and down, so Washington restoring a little order out of that timeout. And Jenna Hagelin will go back to serve. There's Ariel Salvo. Excellent ball control. The transfer out of the University of Utah putting up really solid numbers. 3 kills per set, 2.5 digs, and hitting .260, which is a very solid number for an outside hitter. That ball crushed down the line and gives Stanford the point.
That ball hit the antenna early on and should go to Washington.
And the referees get together and overrule that call. Obviously, head coach for Stanford, John Dunning, doesn't like it. What did you see from your point of view, Holly?
It looked like that hit the antenna.
You mean off the Washington block and then out of bounds?
I'm not quite sure. It was a long rally. I just remember the ball hitting the antenna. I think it was off the hit.
So Janet Akoba, her initial attack ruled into the antenna. Those antennas, an extension of the sideline, straight up above the sideline. The ball hits the antenna, out of bounds, and point possession. And Cassidy Lickman again will say it. HF, high flat, and Lickman records yet another kill. Cassidy Lickman, 9 kills, 20 attempts, just 1 error.
Cassidy Lickman for Stanford has such a high volleyball IQ. She makes a lot of good decisions defensively and offensively.
A serve for Lickman. Shank passed that time by Holford for the Washington Huskies.
From this angle, that serve really moved away from Kelly Holford, number 3 for Washington. Watch it. It takes a nice turn away from Holford.
Lickman once again. And doesn't go to Holford. Goes to Salvo. Carlson over the top. What a dig by Ailes, number 9 for Stanford. Ailes again. Big momentum rally here in this second set. Oh, what a smart shot again by Cassidy Lickman. Holly McPeak using the top of the block.
Cassidy Lickman, number 8 for Stanford, so smart, made some fantastic digs in that rally as well. Comes up with a kill high off the hands again.
Gabby Ailes for Stanford, their libero, number 9, now with 14 digs. Miyashiro with 7. Stanford now trailing just 10-9. Carlson off the end of the block and down, going after Carissa Cook, number 15 for Stanford. There is Kendra Carlson, number 5, 42 kills again last week. A big, big productive Pac-10 weekend. 2 straight wins over Arizona and Arizona State for Washington. The block and down once again. Tell you, Holly, one of the things I'm really noticing is that Janet Akoba, who had a career-high 21 kills in the first meeting, been very ineffective so far. Are you seeing Washington's blockers really loading up on Akoba? Janet Akoba, number 2 in black, their outstanding middle blocker.
Definitely Washington has newfound respect after the last time these two teams met. So Washington is definitely keen on slowing her down.
Shank pass. Palomore ripping Benjamin with the dig. And the tap down once again nicely converted by Kelsey Dunaway.
From my angle, you can see the quick ball out to the antenna by Washington. They're running a very fast offense. Tough for Stanford to control and defend.
Well, you look comfortable there, Holly, and then we get to pan around thanks to our outstanding crew and get a look at your point of view. See how the block is spread out. Two blockers come to help for Washington, and that ball put away by the Stanford Cardinal. Washington, Holly, hit 303 in the opening set. Right now they're hitting just 160. Stanford hitting 174 in the second set. Washington still leading 13-10. Another dig by Ailes. Carlson is stuffed straight down by Alex Kleinman. Can't ask for more than one-on-one, but Alex Kleinman, the two-time All-American, number 10 for Stanford, just shutting the door, Holly.
Gabby Ailes really did a good job keeping that ball alive. Alex Kleinman, the outside hitter for Stanford, one of the best solo blockers in the country.
Right back to Carlson. Ailes is absolutely on fire right now. The white jerseyed libero for Stanford. Another dig. Oh, come on, Gabby, get that one too. She has just been spectacular so far tonight.
I'll tell you what Washington needs to do is hit it away from Gabby Ailes. She's coming up with everything tonight.
With that kill, Washington continues to lead now 14-11. Mia Shiro, number 7 in purple. The libero, defensive specialist, wearing the off-color jersey, two-time defensive player of the year for the Huskies. Kleinman over the top and away from Mia Shiro. So Alex Kleinman, let's get you her numbers. Make it 5 kills on 17 attempts, only 1 error.
I spoke with Alex Kleinman this week. She said, you know, sometimes she takes some steps forward, but it's always a struggle. It's never easy. She still hasn't found the pace that she wants on the ball. So it's all about placement and making good decisions.
Palomore is stuffed on the outside. Huge block. Haley Spellman, 6'4" freshman out of Las Vegas, teaming up with another freshman, Jessica Walker.
From my angle, that ball's dying a little bit inside the antenna. If Jenna Hagelin for Washington could push that ball a little bit wider, Polymore will have more line to attack.
That ball hit just inside the end line, register the kill to Kendra Carlson. Carlson now 17 kills on 27 swings, 4 errors so far. For her standard, the way she has played this year, a pretty slow start for the 6'1" junior out of Colorado. Carlson's been very dangerous as a jump server, and misses that one badly over the sideline. Washington won the opening set, led 14-8, cruised to a 25-21 victory. Stanford, 6 hitting errors in that opening set was the story. And the Huskies lead here in the second, 15-14. Gabby Ailes with another spectacular dig for Stanford early in that rally. But right now, Holly McPeak, Washington with just too much firepower.
Washington's firing from everywhere. I'd like to see Bianca Rowland, number 15, the middle blocker for Washington, get a few more sets. She leads this team in hitting percentage. Very
quiet so far. Good point, Holly. Only 4 attempts. And Washington's been passing pretty well. And Stanford, another unforced error, this time by Alex Kleinman. Stanford, time and time again, Holly, is just way too tight with a lot of these digs and free ball passes, and it's just giving uncontested opportunities to Washington. Polymore serving already with a couple of aces. Is blocked. Saving play that time by Walker.
Jessica Walker, again, number 7 for Stanford, contributing with a block. That's super important.
Still a very heavily taped left thumb. Injured that thumb her senior year of high school so good that even though she missed her senior year of high school, still was recruited by one of the top programs in the country, and then missed last year when she injured her thumb again. Still wasn't ready to go and redshirted. Point possession for the Washington Huskies, and they continue to lead it 1-9 and 18-15. Kelly Holford has been coming in as a defensive specialist. On to serve for the Huskies. Lickman is blocked out of the middle that time by Dunaway. Kelsey Dunaway put into the starting lineup, replacing 6'5" sophomore Lauren Barfield, and showing she belongs. Swing block, reaching into the cross court, blocking that ball straight down. Washington leads it in the second, 19-15. Washington leading number 5 Stanford in spite of a spectacular opening to this match by Stanford's outstanding libero, Gabby Ailes.
Gabby Ailes for Stanford is in the zone. One arm stab. Coming from the back row, big transition dig, another one arm stab, just in the right place at the right time, making a good read on defense.
33 digs last weekend in a 5-set loss to the UCLA Bruins. So we mentioned UCLA and Stanford currently tied for second in the Pac-10 conference at 8-3, and UCLA, the hottest team in the conference, having won 5 straight. Washington will continue to serve. Paul Sunderland with Hall of Famer Holly McPeak. Washington leading 19-15 and also 1-0. Ailes dig number 19-11 here in set number 2. And that ball put to the floor by Haley Spellman.
We're seeing Haley Spellman opposite instead of Stephanie Brown. She's big, she's lefty, and she's given them some offense on the right.
And we were watching Stanford's pre-match practice, and I don't know if the freshman will do it, Holly, but we were both watching her jump serve. She was dangerous and misses that one.
She doesn't get a lot of opportunities, but she's got a nice jump serve with some power.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it by that mistake, but when she loosens up, gets a little more confidence, again, just a freshman at Stanford, you're going to see a lot of very good things from Haley Spellman, former Nevada State Player of the Year. Washington leading by 4. Okoba off the block and out of bounds. You know, we talk about Janet Okoba and getting few opportunities, but she's a reliant player as a middle attacker, Holly. Explain that. You got to have a good pass in order to get the ball.
You absolutely need a good pass to establish that quick middle. And the chemistry between Carissa Cook and Janet Okoba has been pretty good since we last saw them in the same matchup. But
the way Washington's been applying service pressure, it's been difficult for Cook to get the ball into the middle. There's Okoba unleashing from Cook.
There's a nice connection. One of the first clean kills we've seen from Janet Okoba. Last time these two teams met, she was on fire. Washington is now bunch blocking, really trying to slow her down.
What do you mean by bunch blocking?
They're starting more in the middle and moving out when the set goes out, so they're respecting the middle.
That ball hit out of bounds down the line by Salvo. So just when you thought Washington was going to put this second set away, just moments ago they led 20-16. Now a couple of errors, a nice play by Stanford, keyed once again by Gabby Ailes at the defensive end. 19 digs so far, and Washington's lead is now just 20-19. Stanford on a 3-0 run. Well, the teams hit the sideline here in Seattle. Congratulations. Mentioned UCLA, the hottest team in the Pac-10 conference. Caitlin Sather, their outstanding senior outside hitter, led the Bruins to road wins over Cal and Stanford. That was the Bruins' first win over the Stanford Cardinal since 2000. 11 kills, 12 digs, and then 14 kills and 20 digs versus Stanford. A reminder, we'll see UCLA and Washington next week from Pauley Pavilion. All of these matches so vitally important, not only for the importance of another Pac-10 title, possibly for UCLA, for Stanford, for Washington, but as we talked about before this match started, for seedings in the NCAA conference. There you go. Once again, Washington and UCLA. UCLA moving up to number 7, one of the youngest teams in the Pac-10 conference. And we've got a Carissa Cook in this match, and Lauren Cook out of Nebraska has been doing a magnificent job as a freshman setter for UCLA.
They are cousins. They didn't grow up close to each other in terms of where they live, Nebraska and California.
Big moment in this second set for both of these teams. Carlson down the line once again off of Cook, number 15. Give Kendra Carlson. There she is, number 5, the opposite or right side specialist for Washington with a kill.
Kendra Carlson's been doing a great job using the outside of the block of Stanford.
Salvo now serving for the Huskies. There's a Koba. What a dig in the backcourt by Holford. Holford, number 3 in white for Washington, saving dig. And that time, some big heat from All-American Alex Kleinman for Stanford. Kleinman, number 10.
Kelly Holford, the defensive specialist for Washington, keeping that ball alive. But here, watch Washington, they camp on the back set and leave Alex Kleinman by herself.
Holford's been very, very effective and impressive so far for the Huskies. And now Ailes to serve. Washington leading 21-20, second set here in Seattle. Quick set out of the middle, give the kill to Dunaway.
Very nice pass play by Washington. That's a perfect pass. Jenna Hagelin, the setter for Washington, has all her options. Watch her run this middle set. Only one blocker to Kelsey Dunaway.
Dunaway effective so far. 4 kills, 9 attempts, just 1 error. Miyashiro now serving for Washington. Kleinman heating it up a little bit away from Miyashiro, and I've noticed a significant increase in MPHs from Alex Kleinman, Holly.
Yeah, she said she's felt some pain, some fatigue, and that's part of recovery. She's been getting a lot of swings. She gets more swings than any player on the Stanford team.
Well, the first time these two teams met, she only had 72 total attacks. So a lot of work yet to come. Stanford, a chance to tie. And inside set again, tipped outside the block and down. The first tie of this second set since it was just 1-1. So Stanford coming all the way back. They trailed 20-16. And the crowd getting a little antsy here in Seattle. Bianca Rowland to the floor. Not perfect connection, but just enough heat.
No, but it's important that Washington get Bianca Rowland moving. She's one of the best offensive players in the Pac-10, hitting a very high percentage.
I want to correct myself. Kleinman had 72 swings last week against UCLA. Almost a night off against Washington. Only had 54 total attacks. Quiet night for Kleinman. Wrist away shot out of the middle, and now it is 2-set points for Washington.
When we talked to Coach Jim McLaughlin, that was the area that Ariel Salvo was working on. Transition sets and getting a kill.
Carlson serving for the second set. Washington already leading 1-0. And that ball down. Dig by Collymore, but unable to follow up as Bianca Rowland. So 1 set point saved, but another one coming to the University of Washington. Rowland and Collymore. There's Collymore, number 22, the most potent outside attacker for Washington. And she's getting it, and she puts it to the floor. So Collymore registers yet another kill as the teams head to their respective locker rooms. The Washington Huskies at number 4 leading the 5th-ranked Stanford Cardinal 2-0. They win the opening set 25-21 and the second 25-23. So a very, very impressive start for the Washington Huskies, doing a very good job receiving serve, getting everybody involved, and also serving the ball exceptionally well. Now let's send it down courtside to Holly McPeak with Stanford coach John Dunning.
Coach, how would you assess your team's play so far?
Well, I think either Washington's really good or we're not at this point. I think we fought through some tough moments. Been some really good volleyball, but we got to keep it up. It's like we're kind of going up and down too much with our ball control. Every match we play against them, it's just serve and pass, and they've won so far.
How do you get control of this match back?
Well, I think we started to get some momentum by serving them tougher there. It got them a little out of system, and I think it really helped, but we just have to pass. They've served great, started to make a few mistakes there, but we have to pass to get it started. Our offense isn't good enough.
All right, thanks for your time. Good luck.
All right, we will step aside. Third set coming your way momentarily. Stanford's won 4 in a row, but so far that in real jeopardy. Second meeting of the year between the Stanford Cardinal and the Washington Huskies. This one here at the Bank of America Arena in Seattle could well decide the Pac-10 championship, and a player having a lot to do with Washington's success is Jenna Haglund. Let's look at her video diary.
Hi, I'm Jenna Haglund. I'm a junior setter from Westchester, Ohio, and the best thing about Westchester, Ohio is the Skyline Chili and Grater's ice cream. The campus here in Seattle is absolutely beautiful. It's fall right now, so the trees are all changing color, and the quad is a great place to hang out. We were hanging out at the men's basketball scrimmage the other night, and they're going to be really great, so you better watch out too. As athletes, we spend a lot of time hanging out, and even more time in the training room. Even though I don't want to be in the training room for injuries, we have a lot of fun, and we get better. So we were on the road for Halloween, and everyone decided to dress up. Our 2 freshmen, Kelly Holford and Jenna Orlandini, went as penguins, and that was the best costume we had for sure. We've been working really hard all season, and we're geared up to win a Pac-10 championship and then hopefully go on to win a national championship. We've been working hard, and hopefully it all pays off in the end. Go Dogs.
Jenna Haglund is playing spectacular, and she's passionate about what she does. She spends all those hours on video because she loves it.
No comment about the Penguins?
Love the penguin costumes.
Love the Penguins. Love the Penguins. Set number 3 from Seattle when we come back. Back in Seattle once again for the Pac-10 volleyball match of the week. Number 4, Washington, 2-0 over number 5, Stanford. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Paul Sunderland once again with Holly McPeak, and John Dunning said it all. It's all about serve and pass, and right now, what does Stanford do to try to slow down some of the big jump serving, especially from Jill Collymore from Washington? That's really set the tone.
You're right. That's been the difference. I thought they played better in the second set. Couple more adjustments, taking care of the ball when they have an opportunity, especially for a free ball.
Well, and when Washington does serve the ball well, they get Stanford out of system, and that leads to point-scoring opportunities.
Well, this is a transition play. Stop it right when it gets to the setter's hands. You're going to see her options. She's got 4 options. This is in transition. This is ideal inside out, but she can go to 4 different hitters. That's what you want to do. That's a perfect transition play.
And there have been lots of opportunities indeed for the Washington Huskies. 39 digs overall, 37 for Stanford in the head-to-head matchup. Gabby Ailes with 21 digs, and her counterpart Tama Miyashiro with just 10 so far. There are the numbers through 2 sets, as you might imagine, fairly close. Washington won that second set 25-23 in spite of being out-hit 268 to 200. Kind of looking through the box score going, how did Tama Miyashiro and the Washington Huskies sneak out that second set?
Especially when they were out-hit by Stanford and made 7 hit errors.
Set number 3, this best 3 out of 5. First 4 sets to 25 points. 5th, if necessary, will be played to 15. Stanford has won the last 4 meetings, including October 10th at Stanford. That was in 5 sets, 15-12 in the 5th. Cassidy Lickman, the opening swing, the opening salvo, if you will. Not the aerial type, but that one hit out of bounds by number 8 for Stanford, Cassidy Lickman, and we're underway in the 3rd set.
Cassidy Lickman does so much for this Stanford team. She passes, she sets, she's one of their go-to hitters.
Kleinman, the high combination set, ripping that ball over the top of the block and down, away from Miyashiro. Alex Kleinman, two-time All-American. And the story with Alex Kleinman has been her dedicated and oftentimes frustrating and painful recovery from off-season shoulder surgery. Had a torn labrum, a frayed rotator cuff, and some nerve damage. But other than that, she said it wasn't too bad and played with it all season long. That ball hit out of bounds.
Alex Kleinman spent the summer at Stanford, decided to change her major to art with a minor in poli-sci. She loves photography and film, so she's been using this time to figure out what she wants to study, which is a good thing.
Mind you, not that I know the curriculum at Stanford particularly well. They weren't so interested in me. But I first art major I've ever heard of at Stanford. Carlson missing that in the top of the tape, and that's what Stanford's got to hope for. They've got to hope that some of the key jump servers, number 5 right there, Kendra Carlson for Washington, and her counterpart when she comes around, number 22. So watch for that, Jill Collimore. There she is. Both dynamic jump servers for the Huskies. Ace serve for Stanford. Jessica Walker, the float serve into the corner.
Jessica Walker has nice pace and nice placement on her serve. Number 7 for Stanford. Nice speed. Watch it go away from Ariel Salvo right to the corner.
Collimore hits that ball out of bounds. So a slow error-filled start so far in the early stages of set number 3. 5-2 lead for the Cardinal. Step out, Bianca Rowland, a rare swing opportunity for the conference's most efficient attacker. Number 15 in white, now 5 of 8 with 2 errors.
Nice back set by Jenna Haglund to Bianca Rowland. Watch her turn that ball towards the line. She's a very efficient hitter. I'd like to see her get more sets tonight.
There's a tough jump serve we were talking about. And that's going to be 4 contacts called against Stanford. So this is the match right here. Either Stanford can pass this very tough serving from Collimore or Carlson. If they can, they'll get back in this match. If they don't, could be a short night. And it's getting shorter by the moment.
Jill Collimore's got so much pace on her serve. I talked to her yesterday. She's a double honors major, a concert pianist, and an academic all-district player. Watch the speed of her arm on this ball. Tough ball to control as a passer.
Look at that, ace serve again. And that's against number 8 in black, Cassidy Lickman, one of the best passers and all-around players in the country. This is just a mismatch right now.
Collimore's got nice pace on the ball, and it's going away from the passer, which makes it hard to pass when it's got that much heat on it.
5 aces for the Huskies, 4 of those by Collimore. Set. Big point for Stanford to get out of this rotation. Rowland unloading out of the middle. I mentioned during that long rally, Holly, big point for Stanford to get out of the rotation because that means they would get Collimore off the service line. No such luck. Timeout, Stanford. 5-0 run for the Washington Huskies.
Washington's doing such a good job controlling their defense. They're able to run offense off a dig.
We'll step aside. It's been the Jill Collimore show. She has led the Huskies to a 7-5 lead. Serving the story, Jill Collimore, the woman that's getting it done. Washington leading 2-0 and 7-5.
This is Washington's transition. Hold it, watch. She's got this option. She's got the outside option in Kendra Carlson as well as the pipe here. Again, 4 options in transition.
Stanford able to slow that one down, but again, it's the service pressure, rotation after rotation, and finally the Cardinal get Jill Collymore off the line, and Hannah Benjamin will go back to serve for the Cardinals. Number 4 in black, the freshman out of San Diego. Stanford now trailing 7-6. Salvo tucking inside, but can't get it away from Ailes. And Cassidy Lickman turning down the line, and Kendra Carlson in very poor position down the sideline.
Cassidy Lickman saw Kendra Carlson right back defense sneaking into the court, leaving the line open. Smart choice by Cassidy Lickman.
You got to be right on that sideline and then work your way back inside, not chase the ball to the outside. Look at Gabby Ailes again. What a performance. Dig number 23. And off the block and down. Point and possession to Washington. The kill for Ariel Salvo, number 11 in white. Gabby Ailes has been just tremendous.
She's on fire. Nice transition dig by Ariel Salvo for Stanford. Tools through the block. Gabby Ailes having a fantastic night. She's just in the zone. She's in the right place. She's popping everything up for Stanford.
Right side, Okoba is slowed once again. Washington all over Janet Okoba. Number 2 in black, who lit up the Washington Huskies in the first meeting of the year.
Jenna Haglund, number 14, the setter in white for Washington, doing a great job running the offense. This is a free ball play. Watch her run this middle quick attack to Kelsey Dunaway for the kill.
Like the play that you've telestrated not once but twice. Washington controlling the ball exceptionally well in transition, so all sorts of choices. There's another perfect pass to the net. Kleinman responding out of the back line. Very poor set, rare mistake for Ailes. And a lift is going to be called that time against Kelsey Dunaway of Washington. A block out of the middle by number 2, Janet Okoba.
Jenna Okoba's been a little bit quiet tonight. She's been a major contributor offensively for Stanford as of late.
They need to get her started, but again, we talked about it in the first set, we talked about it in the second set. Washington is serving the ball so well that as a middle hitter, she's just not going to get the ball unless it's passed effectively. Ariel Salvo. Again, Jenna Haglund making all sorts of good choices.
Jenna Haglund is doing a good job spreading out the offense, getting all of her hitters involved, keeping Stanford guessing.
I hope Jim McLaughlin brings the Starbucks and the bagels on Sunday morning for those 4-hour video sessions. That ball tipped to the floor. And one of the things he told us as well is also every day at practice, they videotape every practice. And after Jenna Haglund goes in with her teammates and gets some therapy and takes a shower, goes to Coach McLaughlin's office, and they watch video for another half hour every day after practice.
It's true dedication by Jenna Haglund.
Carlson off the top of the block and down. Kendra Carlson, the right side specialist, rarely hits out on the left. Having a fairly effective night, 10 kills in double digits, but it's taken her 37 attempts to get there.
Well, that's a nice high flat off the hand swing from Kendra Carlson, number 5 for Washington.
11-9 advantage for the Huskies, again leading 2-0, and that ball hit out of bounds. Make it 12-9. If you're just joining us, Washington 19-2 overall, number 4 in the country, 9-2 atop the Pac-10 conference. Stanford at 15-6, tied with UCLA for second at 8-3. This match could well decide the Pac-10 championship, but don't tell that to UCLA. Washington and UCLA play next Saturday. We'll have that match for you. It is our match of the week. Stephanie Brown with a rare kill off the right side for Stanford will head to the sideline. Carissa Cook now, the setter for Stanford, wearing number 15, back to serve. Bothered by back problems early in the season, that situation has improved itself, so she can pretty much Practice full time. Carlson with a nice kill.
Washington's doing a superb job tonight passing the ball. Jenna Haglund has all her options on most plays, including defense, and that is not easy to do.
Washington's got a lot of balance. You look at Carlson, look at Ariel Salvo on the outside along with Collimore. We haven't even called Bianca Rowland's name very often tonight. Tough short serve by Miyashiro. And the Stanford Cardinal, a little campfire serve receive. Everybody sitting around the campfire just watching the ball drop.
It's a smart serve. The middle blocker, Jessica Walker for Stanford, she's getting off the net to put herself in a position to hit. It's a smart serve right where she's moving.
Salvo. Ariel Salvo has such good point of contact. Really tight top spin, tucks that ball straight to the floor. 13-5. Run for Washington and timeout Cardinal.
Fantastic location and pace on the ball, and the pipe set from behind the 10-foot line by Ariel Salvo from Washington.
Boy, it seems like a long time ago that the Stanford Cardinal led this third set 5-2. Now it's the Huskies 15-10. Cardinal running out of time to make a move, trailing Washington 15-10 here in the third. We told you before the start of the match, two of the outstanding liberos in the country. Gabby Ailes having the better of it so far tonight. But trust me, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, their number 7 in purple, Tama Miyashiro, out of Hawaii originally, will take it because her team's up 2-0 and 15-10.
And she's passing the ball extremely well.
That's one of the reasons why Washington, you've talked about it and shown it on the telestrator, having all those multiple options at the offensive end. Miyashiro stuck there, couldn't make the play against Alex Kleinman. Kleinman so far on the night, 11 kills, 29 attempts, 2 errors, hitting .310. Top of the block.
Nice location, deep away from Kleinman. Collimore's doing a good job mixing up her location on her attack.
Collimore having an exceptional night on the left side there, number 22. So far, 9 kills on 20 swings, just 2 errors. Hitting .350. Those are big numbers for a left side. Oh, that ball was in.
I agree.
Wow.
I think it hit the back line.
Wow, that ball was in. That's a big break for the Stanford Cardinal. I'm surprised the crowd didn't get a little more involved. Hard to see from this angle, but we're sitting near that sideline. That ball was definitely in. Catherine Sebastian now on to serve for the Stanford Cardinal. Washington leading 2-0, 16-12. Tap to the floor. Jenna Haglund, Johnny on the spot. And it's plays like that that have kept Stanford from being really competitive here tonight in Seattle.
The broken plays, being ready for everything. That time, Jenna Haglund has the opportunity to throw it down. Haley Spellman was not ready for Stanford.
And look who's at the service line once again. Collimore, already with 4 aces. Washington keeping the ball alive. And off the block and down. Wonderful hustle by all of the Huskies. But the Stanford Cardinal, Cassidy Lickman, number 8. For Stanford, putting that ball away. So Benjamin coming on to serve once again. If you're just joining us, Washington at 9-2. Still a lot of volleyball to be played. Have to go to USC and UCLA, but this would give them a big lead for the Pac-10 championship. And that ball to the floor, give the kill to Kendra Carlson.
Gabby Ailes is touching so many balls. You see Cassidy Lickman right there. She is going to graduate from Stanford with her master's in 4 years. She's in her 2nd year studying Chinese. she can actually be conversational in Chinese. She said it's her funniest class because to hear everybody try and speak Chinese, and if you say it wrong, it has totally different meaning.
Just can't get the job done tonight against Washington. They're really loading up their blocking against number 2 in black. Salvo down inside. A little self-defense from Lickman and then stuffed by the Huskies. Alex Kleinman out of the pipe, could not get the ball past the Washington block.
Watch this overhand reaction dig by Cassidy Lickman. Ball pops right up. Alex Kleinman into the block on the pipe.
Well, Haley Spellman, the redshirt freshman, into the starting lineup at the blocking position, really getting over the net. Another ball passed over, another reception error for the Stanford Cardinal. And this one is getting out of hand. Washington leading 20-13.
The last couple weeks of practice, Washington has had a huge focus on their serving, and it's obviously paying off tonight.
Lickman rattles that ball through the block and down. So give Cassidy Lickman yet another kill. 13 of 37, 3 errors. Feels like now or never for the Stanford Cardinal to get back in this match. Salvo! In between the blockers and down between Akoba and Cook.
Very nice swing by Ariel Salvo. When we talked to Jim McLaughlin a month ago, he said she's the glue on this team. She does all the little things. We're seeing a lot of firepower from her tonight.
Setter Jenna Hagelin, number 14. Back to serve and misses that one into the top of the tape. But Washington still with a very comfortable lead in sets, 2-0, and also on the scoreboard in the third, 21-15. Gabby Ailes back to serve in her head-to-head matchup, 27 digs overall. Tamamiya Shiro, 15. Well, that ball should never go down. Washington continue to scramble, and Stanford not working in between contacts and getting in the right position.
Stanford a little too tentative on those plays. You need to be aggressive, take control of the ball, give your team a chance to put that ball away.
22-15. Very nice bump set. Benjamin with the dig in the backcourt. Collimore unloading. Ailes with a chance but can't get it done. Jill Collimore for Washington, her 10th kill on 23 swings, and now the Huskies just 2 points away from the 3-0 sweep. Remember the first time, Holly, when Washington played Stanford, Washington came in 15-0 and 45-0 in sets. Salvo to serve. The Huskies looking for their 20th win on the year. Miyashiro with a dig, and Collimore can't keep the ball alive.
Washington touching a lot of balls defensively, scrapping, keeping the ball alive. That time just not able to come up with it.
And this shouldn't surprise Stanford. That's why I was so stunned when that last ball just passed over the net and went down. Washington's been doing this all night long at the defensive end, just scrapping and hustling after every ball. Ailes with her 28th dig. And killed down the line by Kleinman.
For Stanford, they need offense from other people besides Kleinman and Lickman, especially the middle. And last time these two teams met, Janet Akoba in the middle for Stanford and Stephanie Brown had huge matches.
Block on the outside by Kleinman. Kendra Carlson getting a good look, but Alex Kleinman really an effective blocker.
She is. Stanford leaves her there by herself, but she's at 6'4". Watch her line up. Perfect form. She takes a huge area.
Stanford on a 3-0 run. Is it too late for the Cardinal? Collymore able to get that ball in between the blockers, and maybe Lickman took that one away from Gabby Ailes. So now 6 set points for number 22, Jill Collymore. 11 kills leading the way. Kendra Carlson has a dozen. Cassidy Lickman with 13 kills. Alex Kleinman with 12, the top scorers for Stanford. Match point number 1. Gets tipped to the floor. Cassidy Lickman dealing with a difficult opportunity out of the middle.
Every time Stanford's in trouble, that's where they put the ball. Short right over the block.
See, 3 sets to none sweeps are nothing new to the Washington Huskies. Match point number 2. Collymore over the top of the block, a touch detected, and that'll do it. So the University of Washington Huskies now improved to 20-2, 10-2 in conference, extracting some major revenge after losing to the Stanford Cardinal. 3-2 at Palo Alto on October 10th, and ending, Jim McLaughlin has just ended a 4-match losing streak to the Stanford Cardinal.
Washington executed on all levels. Jill Collymore definitely the hot hitter. Jenna Haglund makes a good decision to end the match with her.
So a surprisingly easy win for the number 4 Washington Huskies over the number 5 Stanford Cardinal. They win it in straights. We'll be back to talk to some of the Huskies when we come back to Seattle. When it's number 4 and 5 in the country, you don't expect an easy night, but that's exactly the way it turned out for the University of Washington, a winner in straight sets over the visiting 5th-ranked Stanford Cardinal. And all night long, it was just too many weapons for the Washington Huskies. Jill Collymore closing things out with her 12th and final kill. Washington wins it 3-0. Now let's send it down to Holly McPeak.
Thanks, Paul. Here with Jenna Haglund. Jill Collymore, fantastic win. How would you assess your play tonight?
I've been working a lot on mechanics this week, and my mechanics are better in the game, so that's a good feeling for me.
Your serve was on fire. That was a huge difference for your team. Is that an area that you focused on?
You know, we worked on getting my toss more consistent, and when my toss is there, I just feel free to go after it. So, yeah.
Congratulations. Great win. Now, you ran a great offense tonight, using everybody. Going to your hot hitter at the end, was that your plan?
Well, Jill is pretty hot, and we were put in a good situation, and hey, I'm just going to let her do the work and put the ball up there for her, so she was on.
Something we noticed during the match is your team passes the ball extremely well, especially in transition. You have 4 options at times. Is that something you guys really focus on?
Yeah, you know what? Our transition was huge tonight. We were really bringing heat and fire in trans, and that was a huge strength for us tonight, I'd say.
What does this win mean to your team?
It feels really good. It feels really good. You know, we respect Stanford. Stanford's a great team. They have some really strong players, and we just like to bring UW volleyball because we know that can go the distance in any match. So it's a good win against me.
I talked to Jenna this week about revenge and how bad you wanted to win this match. How does that feel?
It feels awfully good. It was really good to be on our home floor and to, you know, take it to them in 3. They're a great team, and I think it's a great rivalry we have, so it's awesome.
All right, congratulations to both of you. Back to you, Paul.
All right, big win, an easy win for the Washington Huskies. Back to Seattle for more after a short timeout. Washington wins it 3-0. Well, it was a happy bunch of Husky fans and players, no doubt about it, as the Huskies take down the Stanford Cardinal. 3-0. That gives us a little extra time. Let's go to Holly McPeak with Husky head coach Jim McLaughlin.
Thanks, Paul. How would you assess your team's play tonight?
I thought we played really well. There was a little stretch in game 2 where we gave up some points just on errors, but I thought our execution overall was good.
We saw some nice transition defense. You talked about that on the conference call this week, getting all your options. Were you happy with that tonight?
Yeah, we took some chances and we went for it, and good things happen when you're aggressive, and I thought they made good choices, and we had some good swings.
Did you guys bunch block specifically to slow down the middle attack from Stanford?
Yeah, number 2 is a good hitter. You got to be in front of her, and then you got to chase the wing hitter. So they're going to her a lot, so you got to play the percentages.
Congratulations on a great performance.
So the Washington Huskies all alone atop the Pac-10 conference, looking for yet another title. It would be their 3rd under Jim McLaughlin. We'll be back to Seattle to wrap it up right after this. Well, a quick night for Tama Miyashiro and the Washington Huskies, but not without some damage, some ice on that very valuable right arm. She finished with 15 digs to help lead the way for the number 4 Washington Huskies over the number 5 Stanford Cardinal, 3 sets to none as we look at the final numbers for this match. Really, except for a period of time in the second set, as Coach McLaughlin pointed out, Washington really dominated the Cardinal, Holly.
Washington executed very well. They served the ball amazing. I mean, they put so much pressure on Stanford consistently throughout the match. To me, that was the biggest difference. And then, obviously, the passing for Washington was very strong tonight.
Service aces, what a story for the Washington Huskies, led by Jill Collimore's 4 aces. They had 6 total. They out-hit the Stanford Cardinal 262 to 226. They split the season series and end a 4-match losing streak due to the Washington Huskies against the Stanford Cardinal. Thanks so much for joining us once again. This has been Pac-10 Women's Volleyball coming your way from Seattle. Next week we'll be back in Los Angeles as the UCLA Bruins, now winners of 5 in a row, take on these same Washington Huskies. For our producer Dennis Kirkpatrick and Lori Brooks and my broadcast partner Holly McPeak, good night from Seattle. The Washington Huskies make it look easy. They take down Stanford 3 sets to none.